Imagine you just launched your app. It's going viral, a million people open it at the same time, and then it crashes. Or worse, a hacker finds your API key sitting in plain text in your front-end code, and within an hour, your database is gone. These aren't rare horror stories. They happen to real developers every single day. Because nobody taught them these things in colleges. So today, I'm breaking down the topics every developer needs to understand, from handling millions of users, to stopping hackers, to making your app blazing fast. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a developer, beginner, or experienced, this video is basically a checklist of real-world engineering knowledge that separates hobby projects from production-ready applications. I'm going to cover 9 topics. Stay until the end, because the last one is something almost every developer ignores until it's too late. Let's go. Topic 1. Scalability. When you're building an app for yourself or 10 friends, anything works. But what happens when a million people hit your server at the same time? The answer is your single server dies. So here's what real companies do. Load balancing. Instead of one server handling all traffic, you put multiple servers behind a load balancer, which distributes requests evenly. Horizontal scaling. Instead of making one server more powerful, you add more servers. It's cheaper and more reliable. Caching tools like Redis store frequently accessed data in memory, so your database isn't hit for every single request. Database replication and sharding. You split your data across multiple databases, so no single one becomes a bottleneck. The big idea? Scalability isn't something you add later. It's a mindset you design for from day one. Topic 2. Security. How hackers attack and how you defend. This is non-negotiable. Here are the most common attacks every developer should know. SQL injection, when user input is directly inserted into a database query. The fix? Always use parameterized queries or an ORM. Never raw string concat. Never raw. Cross-site scripting, or XSS, when a hacker injects malicious scripts into your website that run in other users' browsers. The fix is sanitizing and escaping all user input before rendering it. DDoS attacks, when a hacker floods your server with fake traffic to take it down. This is solved using services like Cloudflare, rate limiting, and firewalls. Broken authentication, weak passwords, no rate limit on login attempts, missing two-factor authentication. Always hash passwords with something like bcrypt. Never store them in plain text. The rule of thumb, never trust user input. Validate everything on the server side, not just the front end. Topic 3. Storing secret keys the right way. Now let's talk about something almost every beginner gets wrong. Your API keys, database passwords, and tokens should never live in your front-end code. Why? Because front-end code is visible to anyone who opens DevTools. Here's the correct approach. On the back end, store secrets in environment variables using a .env file that's never pushed to GitHub. For production, use a proper secrets manager like AWS Secrets Manager, Google Secret Manager, or HashiCorp Vault. Never hardcode keys directly in your code. And always add .env to your Gitagore file before your first commit. If a key ever does leak, and it happens to everyone eventually, rotate it immediately. Don't just delete the file. The key is already compromised. Topic 4. Performance. Making your app fast. Let's talk speed, especially when you're using lots of images, videos, or animations. Lazy loading only load images and videos when the user actually scrolls to them, instead of loading everything up front. Compression. Use modern formats like WebP for images and compress your videos before serving them. Code splitting. Instead of sending your entire JavaScript bundle at once, split it so users only download what they need for the current page. CDNs, a content delivery network, serves your files from a server physically closer to the user, which massively reduces load time. Debounce and throttle animations. Heavy animations running on every scroll or keystroke event can tank performance. Limit how often they fire. A simple rule: if your app takes more than 3 seconds to load, you're losing users before they even see your product. Topic 5. Database design fundamentals. A lot of bugs and slowdowns don't come from your code, they come from bad database design. Understand the difference between SQL and NoSQL and when to use each. Learn to use indexes. Without them, your database has to scan every single row for every query, which gets painfully slow as your data grows. Avoid the N+1 query problem, where your code accidentally runs hundreds of small queries instead of one efficient one. Always design your schema thinking about how your data will be queried, not just how it looks. Topic 6. API and clean architecture. Your front end and back end should talk to each other through well-designed APIs. Learn REST principles and at least understand the basics of GraphQL. Always version your APIs like API v1 so you can make changes later without breaking. Everything for existing users. Separate your concerns. And your front end shouldn't directly touch your database, and your business logic shouldn't be tangled inside your UI code. Clean architecture isn't about looking fancy. It's about making sure one small change doesn't break 10 other things. Topic 7. Testing and CI/CD. Most beginners skip this, and it costs them later. Unit tests check that individual pieces of your code work correctly. Integration tests check that different parts of your system work together. CI/CD pipelines using tools like GitHub Actions automatically test and deploy your code every time you push changes, instead of you manually uploading files and hoping nothing breaks. The goal isn't 100% test coverage. The goal is confidence that you can change code without accidentally breaking production. Topic 8. Monitoring and logging. Here's something most developers only learn after their first major outage. You need to know when something breaks, before your users tell you. Use tools like Sentry for error tracking and proper logging instead of scattered console.log statements. Set up uptime monitoring so you're alerted the moment your server goes down. If you can't see what's happening inside your app, you're flying blind. Topic 9. Documentation and communication. This is the one almost every developer ignores, and it's the one I promised at the start. Write documentation. For your API, your setup process, your code decisions. 6 months from now, you will forget why you wrote something a certain way, and so will every teammate who joins after you. A good developer doesn't just write code that works. They write code and explanations that someone else can understand without asking you. So that's it. None of these are taught well in tutorials, because tutorials are built to teach you syntax, not how real-world products actually survive in production. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which topic you want a deep dive video on.